Welcome to the Central Basketball Association's weekly update, where talent is discovered. I'm your host, Jeff Mahoney. This is season number 3 for the CBA, but this past weekend's matchup between visiting Memphis and Fort Wayne was the first ever between these two teams. The Flight, coming into this game undefeated, bring with them 2014 League MVP Antonio Cannon, who once again is averaging 25 points per game. Cannon and the Flight at the McMillan Center, hosting the Soul Kings, where they start the game on a 7-1 run after Edward Graves drains the jumper from the elbow. 3 minutes later, off the rebound, Reggie Lytle throws down court to number 10 James Humphrey with a two-handed slam, and we're tied at 14. Moments later, a great pick and roll by the Flight as Ronald Lucas finds Humphrey for another two-hand jam. Fort Wayne up 55-50 at the half. On to the fourth quarter, where Memphis ties this game up on a Melvin Morgan jumper. Next Soul Kings possession, Reginald Christian drains the triple, one of 14 on the night for Memphis as they go up 83-82 with 7 minutes left to play. 5 minutes later from the corner, East Oklahoma State guard Keith Barron extends Memphis' lead 95-90. But just too much Flight down the stretch. Antonio Cannon finds Antonio Wilson. Then Cannon, driving through the lane, gets the bucket and one. Then Wilson, 1-on-3, finds a wide open Lucas as the Flight hold on to win this game 104-100. Fort Wayne's Antonio Cannon, James Humphrey, and Antonio Wilson combined for 60 points and 30 rebounds in the win to help fend off Memphis' hot shooting from beyond the arc. The Flight played back-to-back games at Middle Tennessee and at Chattanooga this weekend. All three teams currently make up the top 3 in the CBA. Bowling Green traveling to Mississippi for the Eagles' inaugural home opener. First quarter, number 3 for Bowling Green, Tereus Clemens, off the defensive rebound, goes coast to coast with the lay-in. Hornets off to a 13-0 run to start this game. 8 minutes later, Mississippi uses an 8-0 run and a steal from Russell Malone, who in transition finds Mariko Stinson for 2 off the turnover. Bowling Green up 23-19 after 1. In the second quarter, down 32-28, Malone finds the seam and pulls the Eagles within 2. Off the inbounds pass, number 23 Dexter Cheers comes up with the steal and gets the easy 2. We're tied at 34. Next time down the floor, Malone's full court pass finds Cheers, and Mississippi has its first lead of the game, 34-32. More of the same in the third. 6'10" Kieran Jackson drains the triple. Eagles up by 9, 57-48. But it's a different story in the fourth. Number 7 Spencer Perrin gives Bowling Green back the lead, 83-80. Next possession, the Eastern Kentucky product with the flush. The Hornets are rolling. DeAndre Scott for 3, followed by a block and a monster jam. Not to be outdone, Clemens with the steal. The 6'6", 215-pounder out of Jacksonville State with a game-high 37 points. Bowling Green wins it. Tereus Clemens shot 8 of 8 from the field, 5 of 6 from three-point land, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line, while becoming the league's leading scorer at 27 points per game. Mississippi will play 2 games this weekend at Peoria and at Springfield as the Eagles look for their first win in CBA history. The Springfield Sentinels in their inaugural season traveling to in-state rival Peoria. First quarter, Peoria up 9-6. Number 33, Ryan Siddell, baseline jumper is left short, but Siddell, following his shot, gets the steal and the bucket. Panthers up by 5. With seconds remaining, Alex Mumford with the steal. He quickly gets down the floor for 2 as the Sentinels take the lead 17-16 into the second quarter. But it doesn't take long for Peoria to bounce back behind Northwestern University product Brandon Lee. The 6'1", 180-pound guard opened and ended the quarter with three-pointers. He had a game-high 25 points, Panthers up 39-31 at the break. Springfield big Kevin Watson, with one of his 3 threes, had a team-high 21 points, keeping the Sentinels close. But after back-to-back three-pointers starting with Jensen Bliles, then Bliles finds Stedell in the corner, Peoria goes up 52-42. Springfield cuts the lead to 2. Deardis Halliburton finds Watson for the lay-in. We're tied at 66. Then off the inbounds pass, Mumford with the pick, James Johnson with the putback, Sentinels up by 2. 12 seconds to play, Lee taking matters into his own hands for the game winner. Peoria wins it 75-74. Springfield swept a pair of home-and-home exhibition games against Peoria and outscored the Panthers 30-19 in the fourth quarter. But veterans Brandon Lee and Ryan Stedell helped guide the Panthers to their first win of the season. Perhaps the most highly anticipated matchup in Week 2 involved the 2014 CBA League champions, the Middle Tennessee Storm, as they traveled in-state to take on the Chattanooga Rail Runners at Brainerd High School. Both teams enter the game with 2-0 records. Chattanooga comes out running with number 34 Jonathan Adams, who goes coast to coast and right-handed off the glass. Rail Runners up 8-2 to start this game. Middle Tennessee storms back behind 6'3", 190-pound LaCorey Daniels for 3. Chattanooga up 13-12 after 1. The Rail Runners, though, take control in the second and build their lead to 10 after an Alex Wells 14-foot jumper. Right before the half, Daryl Miller with the lob to Dominique Rouse stormed down at the break 36-28. In the second half, Ryan Westbrook's trying to keep Middle Tennessee in this game gets 2 of his career-high 24 points with the runner. But Chattanooga's putting on a show for the home crowd. Wells, a 6'3" guard from Lee University, with the steal and flush. And to top this one off, E.J. Ward finds Adams in transition as the Rail Runners roll 93-74. Chattanooga outscored Middle Tennessee in every single quarter and won the second and fourth quarter by a combined score of 58-45. Middle Tennessee's 74 points is the lowest point total in the 3-year history of the program. The Storm returned home on Saturday to host Fort Wayne in a rematch of last year's playoff semifinal. The Soul Kings and Sentinels playing game number 2 of the weekend. First quarter, we're tied at 5. Memphis guard Tyrell Hersey, 6'5", 205, drains the 3. Soul Kings up by 3. Memphis would maintain the lead until 40 seconds left in the frame when the Sentinels Kevin Watson to Alex Mumford, and we're tied at 18. On to the second, Springfield catches fire when James Lincoln finds Olufemi Akinpadide for the baseline slam. 4 minutes later, Miles Harvell weaving through traffic, and the Sentinels have their largest lead of the game, 39-28. But the Soul Kings march right back in the third. Bobby Jones misses on the 3. Number 6, Edward Graves with the putback, part of a 7-0 run for Memphis. Moments later, Cortez Johnson comes up with the steal and finds Jones in transition. Soul Kings up 52-49. Memphis would outscore Springfield 51-34 in the second half. Jones with his second steal of the game leads to a big dunk. Cortez Johnson to Darren Curry as the Soul Kings roll 96-83. Memphis pulls away from host Springfield in the third quarter, using strong defense to win the period 20-10. The Rail Runners are on a bye this week as Springfield is set to host Mississippi in the battle of the new franchises. Something has to give this weekend as the 2 undefeated teams, Fort Wayne and Chattanooga, and the 2 winless teams, Mississippi and Springfield are set to tip off. I'm Jeff Mahoney. Until next week, keep shooting.